We live. You can't talk.
Because they keep on saying schedule. My bad. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks handle business tonight at MSG. Clean, professional win. 119 to 104 behind a monster 35 and 18 from Karl-Anthony Towns. Brunson was steady with 26. Bridges chipped in. Hart did the dirty work. Deuce McBride continued to prove that he belongs. But while the Knicks control tonight's game, the headlines around the league are chaotic. Chris Paul got sent home tonight. Headlines, excuse me, my fault. Chris Paul got sent home tonight by the Clippers. Giannis rumors are quietly heating up again. The Knicks themselves are looking like two different teams. 10-1 monsters at home and 3-6, 11-1 monsters at home after tonight's W. Boop. And 3-6 team on the road. So tonight we got questions. What clicked? What still needs to be fixed? Is the home/road split really about effort, personnel, or coaching? And what benefit? And who benefits the most from Landry Shamet being out? Welcome to Knicks-ish Postgame Live. We break down the win, the noise, and everything in between. Let's cook. Let's go, Knicks. Somebody got to do it.
Mic check 1, 2. Tell these rappers I'm outside, get them start acting up. I'm turning hoes to housewives, I'm cleaning the ratchet up. Do it all from boom bap to melody rap. If they gon' put you in the box, then you might as well pack it up. Bars having bars, no cap, I'm Attica, you a precinct. How y'all competing when y'all just decent? Your rhyme efficiency's like logic simplicity. Don't tell me how much that you black, cause I don't see it. That's it.
When we see you in the finals, bring that same energy, nigga.
Yeah. Live at the rec on your favorite YouTube screen is your favorite Knicks-ish panel. You know what I mean? Including, but not limited to, you know what I mean? The first lady of Knicks-ish, Mrs. Knicks. You know what I mean? The infamous Knickerbocker Ave. You know what I mean? Kev's already unmuted. And your favorite co-host, Kev Rodriguez, he usually say his last name.
Oh.
And I'm your host. I'm a spark plug. T-Tom, in the building. I mean, good W. Wait. Gotta do the maintenance. You know what I mean? If you're already in the building, make sure you hit that like button. It's important. Sharing is always caring. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Knicks-ish. Make sure you visit the Shopify, cop some merch. We just dropped some new stuff today. Quite a few articles, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a few. You feel me? Some new merch up there. And make sure you hit up the super chat. You know what I mean? Hit up the super chat, ask us questions so we can get directly to what you're trying to talk about. And I think that is what Fraz does. I think
he does a lot.
He does a lot. He does. There's a lot more, but I for the beginning of the show, I think I covered my bases. Yeah, I mean, and shout out to everybody in the chat. Yeah, I mean, shout out to everybody in the chat because he does that as well. You feel me? Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you for being here. Darlene is in the building, sis. Frankie Fingers was good. And my guy, Uncle Paulie, Pause Police is in the building. Make sure you on your best behavior. Jimmy J1, my geyser. Yes, sir. In the building.
Marlon Mayhem.
Yes, sir. In the building. The guys are in the building. The ladies are in the building after this W. You know what I mean? Latoya Green, we see you. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody. Oh man, we got it. I'm looking at 42, 44 people in the building right now. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. If you're on Facebook, make sure you're running over to YouTube to get that subscription popping. You feel me? Or if you're on X, make sure you're running over to YouTube to get the subscription popping, and make sure you're blessing the super chat. You know what I mean? To keep us going and keep us doing what we doing. All right. So tonight we handle business the way all purple Knicks was good, was happening. You know what I mean? Big Docs was good. All right. So boom. Tonight we handle business like how business was supposed to be handled. Rough parts it throughout the game, obviously. But getting the win is what really matters, right? So, to the panel, obviously give me your overall critique of the game. But keep in mind to answer this question. What stood out most from tonight's game? Ball movement, pace, or defensive activity? Let's start with Kev because Kev wasn't here last game. So we're going to start with Kev.
To be honest, I only was able to catch the second half, so I missed most of the struggling part of the second half. But I saw in the second half they picked it up a lot. You know, I saw they were moving the ball, being aggressive, you know, playing defense. I think that's the only struggle that we keep having, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought the win it was something that we should have did. We playing the Charlotte Hornets like we supposed to do this. I'm glad Cat went off today because we needed that after that disappointing loss last night in Boston. The guys played well. We just need them to really pick it up on a defensive end, man. That's the most important thing I think that we should be doing right now. Other than that, I mean, let's go Knicks,
So before you go, Kev, and we go on
What's
to the
up?
next person, you kind of like skipped over a little bit of the question. I know you only seen half of the game.
Yeah, I didn't.
What stood out? Yeah, what stood out most from what you saw? Ball movement, pace, or defensive activity?
I mean, the pace. I think they picked it up a bit. I seen Josh. He was doing what he do. And the ball movement was a little bit better, but other than that, that's all I really picked up in the second. I only got to see the real good part. I missed the whole second part when they struggled in the second quarter because I saw in the chat y'all was like, yo, this is trash. This is trash. I didn't get to see that part, so it's hard for me to be able to tell y'all, to give y'all a full take because I only seen half a game. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I appreciate.
It's hard for me to.
Appreciate what you gave us so far. Yeah, I mean, sis, talk to me.
You muted, sis.
My bad, y'all. I get that we won, but I'm far from impressed. There's no reason, zero reason the Knicks team should have allowed these Charlotte Hornets to come back from 20-point deficit not once, but twice. That is very concerning to me because, again, we can't keep up the intensity. We get comfortable and allow teams to come back. Had this been a good team, we would have lost today. So that's pretty concerning for me. 28 assists. I'm with it. Y'all know my number, 25. But I'm gonna just be honest, because I've said it in a couple of shows. I'm over this offense. I'm absolutely over this spray 3 offense. The fact that we have guys literally not dunking the ball to pass for a 3 that then gets missed absolutely pisses me off. And the reason that happens is not because the center normally does that. It's because that's the fucking offense that's getting preached to them every damn game. And that offense is not going to win a championship. I'm sorry. I don't care. No one can tell me any otherwise, because it's not realistic that this Knicks team is going to shoot 3s at a high percentage every single game. It's not our game. And so, yeah, I'm absolutely over Mike Brown. I'm over the spray 3. And I hope that the front office sees this nonsense and doesn't just get caught up in it looks good when it's going down, because when it's not going down, like tonight, it looked terrible. But what was the question that you wanted us to answer? Sorry, I had to let that out. Because when I see Huck Porty kick out that fucking, he had an open dunk, not a layup, a dunk. You kick that out? Come on, man. No, you can't tell me that a big man normally would do that shit.
It wasn't just Huck Purdy, but you all right.
That one too.
What stood out?
But don't forget when Tyler cursed his ass out. Dunk the fucking ball. Dunk the fucking ball.
So the question was, what stood out most from tonight's game? The ball movement, the pace, or defensive activity?
I mean, the ball movement and the pace stood out when it was going good, but then when it wasn't going good, we got stagnant, right? Like JB was holding the ball too long, especially in those stretches where the Hornets were coming back. It didn't look good, and I get that's his game. We're used to seeing it. That's normal, but in this offense that we now have, seeing that looks wrong, because we know that ball is supposed to be moving. So again, when we were successful, it looks good. When we're not, it looks terrible. The Knicks just need to get this shit together.
I agree offensively with a lot of things, but before I get to my shit, nigga Bucker Ave, holla at me.
I'm with Sis on this one. I think I was the loudest one in that chat saying that this game looked like trash.
You definitely were.
I was, to be honest with you, because the way that the first quarter opened up, Charlotte wasn't hitting. I think they were 1 for 10 from downtown. They only scored 12 points. The Knicks scored barely, I think, just under 30. And we were just talking about that last night. Oh, the Knicks lead the league in 40-point quarters. That would have been a perfect opportunity to have one. Didn't happen. Second quarter, we were up by 18. They cut it down to 3. Not saying that, that doesn't happen in the NBA. We're talking about professional basketball players and professional basketball teams. So that's kind of, expected nowadays, especially in today's NBA. But when it wasn't because of some kind of offensive, adjustment, it wasn't some kind of, somebody went off. It was essentially just the Knicks got lazy. They got complacent and they let the foot off the gas, let the Hornets get back into it. Then they come back into the third quarter. They started to rebuild the lead again. Charlotte kept on fighting back. They built the lead up back up to 18, only for them to cut it down to 6. And it's like, okay, can somebody play any defense? Any defense would have been nice. I mean, I know that we're talking, we're hailing Mikal Bridges for his defensive efficiency, but he can't be the only one playing defense. He can't be the only one getting steals. He cannot be the only one that is holding his opponent accountable and keeping him honest. I didn't like a lot of the defensive intensity, from Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns. We already know that, but the rest of the team, Deuce kind of let his guy get past him a couple of times. I thought that Mikal Bridges eventually just got worn out because he's been having to chase guys, for 2 straight nights, and then the bench really didn't hold their own. I mean, Jordan Clarkson had a couple of assignments where his man flew right by him. So even though we won, as we should have been, and we won decisively, we won by 15. The fact of the matter is that I do not like that the Knicks are, and I'm going to keep on quoting you on this one, playing down to the competition instead of asserting our dominance, considering that we are the best team. We are the best team in the Eastern Conference, bar none. Yet here we are toying with our food.
And I hear every last single one of y'all, right? So from what I'm gathering from the panel is that no one's really happy with the W. Yeah, obviously y'all happy that we won, duh, right? But the style of winning is not really,
because this would have been a whole different show if we would not have won.
And it's just not this game though. It's been the whole season like this, except
the build up, yeah.
But right now we're gonna take it by game basis, right? So here's my 2 cents. My 2 cents is this. Obviously, like y'all, I think that we should have won by maybe a little bit more than what we did, but we did still win by 15. We did let 2 20-point leads dwindle, but we still won by 15. That's not a small margin of victory. I think the second quarter of doom is starting to become a thing, which is wild. We lived through the third quarter of doom under Tibbs. Now we're kind of slowly looking at the second quarter of doom under Mike Brown, which is a wild thing to even have to think of. Defensively, it's still an issue of us in transition, which was never a thing for us before. Yeah, I think under Tibbs we were pretty solid in transition. I wouldn't say that we were stalwarts in transition, but it wasn't this much of a gaper pause because Paulie is in the building and I don't want to get the pause police put on me. But it wasn't this much of a gaper as far as that part of the game, like transition defense. And now it's becoming a thing. Knickerbocker Ave said that he was talking about how bad we were in the first half. I was one of the people in the group chat that's saying that first half maybe not so bad, but the second quarter was bad. Like I wasn't mad at the first quarter, especially consider that we didn't make no 3-pointers the whole first quarter. Poor shooting in the first quarter what made the game closer than what it needed to be. If we were even remotely close to what we shoot on a regular day, and then it wasn't bad shots. It were very good shots that just wasn't falling. We were remotely close to what we shoot on a normal day. That game would have been blown open. We'd have definitely had a 40-point first quarter if we just shot close to what we shoot on a normal day. Second quarter is inexcusable. It's poor defense, poor transition defense, poor closing out on 3-point shooters, which seems to be kind of the norm coming off the. And when you think about the second quarter, that's most of the minutes that the bench get. Mikal Mike Brown usually runs Jalen Brunson all the way up until the second quarter. Him and Karl-Anthony Towns usually get a break at the beginning of the first quarter, and then we usually don't see neither one of them until maybe about the until it's about like maybe 8 minutes left or less into the second quarter. And there goes pretty much where the discrepancy goes in that quarter, because the momentum is going at that pretty much at that point. And I'm not making excuses, but you also got to look into who's missing at that point, because there's minutes that need to be filled, and it's not being filled because you got the bench players that used to be, excuse me, on the bench. Now in the starting lineup, you got Deuce McBride in the starting lineup. You got Josh Hart in the starting lineup. Those are two big bench pieces that was once, agitators and facilitators coming off the bench that are now in the starting lineup. But that's not an excuse for what's happening, because this is a more recent phenomenon, and the people who's been injured has been injured for a minute. But a win is a win. I'm gonna take the dub. Should it have been a cleaner W? Absolutely. You feel me? To touch on something that Sis said is something that I also noticed, is that I get it. We want to get 3-pointers up, but not at the detriment of giving up almost guaranteed 2-point shots. This is 2 games back to back that I can recall, like literally. And I know what's happened before in other games, but in my fresh memory, these last 2 games, we've watched guys literally have, dunks or layups, and they passed it up. Hong Purdy is a culprit tonight, but he wasn't the only one. Jalen Brunson did the same thing. And it ended up being a turnover when Jalen Brunson did it. He tried to kick back the cat when he literally had the lane. Like literally. You know the expression, give him the lane? They literally gave Jalen Brunson the lane, and which is something that he never really sees, but he still kicked it back. And it ended up being a turnover instead of 2 points. I get the premium on 3-point shooting, but when you have an ability to either score 2 points or get a foul, you take it. You take it. There's no reason in the world that you should be giving up for a guard. I'm going to say on a modest level, right? A 75% chance of getting a bucket, right? Or putting points on the board for a below 40% chance of getting a bucket, right? That is no way in the world you're supposed to trade one for the other. And to Sis' point, that is taught. That is not an instinct thing. That's not an instinct thing, because basketball players' natural instinct is to score. I don't care who you are. Your natural instinct is to go get points on the ledger. You feel me? When you start doing stuff like this, like kicking out when you have an ability to score, that is a culture and coaching thing. You feel me? And it's not just those 2 plays. We've seen it all season so far. We've seen it in the coach's philosophy, even after we won a big game and he said we didn't shoot enough threes. And I know I've been super long-winded. I apologize, y'all. But I just had to get that last tidbit off. A pause. That's crazy. All right. Hold on. I gotta do. So
Mhm.
We can't hear you, T-Time.
You gave me now?
Yeah.
All right, the Knicks dominating the paint 54-40. Was that a game plan thing or a talent gap thing? Who started? I can't. Kev started. Let's start with Sis.
It definitely ain't the game plan. We know that. The game plan is to hit threes. I think, to be honest, I think there's times where our guys just are like, fuck this shit. We're going to do what we do and whatever. And I got that today when we saw Tyler literally tell Huck Porty, dump that shit. That's not something that Mike Brown wants. Mike Brown wants us to take 38, 40, 50. He'd probably be good if we shot 63s. He doesn't want us to take 38 or 30 or 25. So that's them doing what they want. And I mean, to be honest, you know, when you play basketball, you do what it takes to win, depending on your opponent. Who on their team was stopping Cat? No one. Zero. So you feed that man. And that's what we did. And that's what we supposed to do. You take, you do whatever needs to be done to win. And hey, that's what it is.
Nice pass.
Cody
had a dunk and he throws it out.
Oh.
I'll add me.
You said who?
Knickerbocker.
Oh, Knickerbocker.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Was the paint dominance talent gap or game planning?
That was a talent gap. Clearly a talent gap. We know full well that this, the goal is to get to the corner, hit his shoot at least 25 to 35 threes per night. And when the shots didn't go in, you knew that Cat had dominance, in the paint. You knew that Cat had the mismatch that he needed, and he was able to dominate in the paint. And then, at the same time, although JB is a decent three-point shooter, he's not going to be a consistently, just jacking three kind of guy. He is going to, penetrate. He is going to get to the cup, and he's going to open up passing lanes. So I think that, the fact that, that we won the points in the paint battle, that's where we kind of ate at that point. We had our meal there. Because I'm sure if we were hitting threes and had more 40-point performances throughout the quarter, we would have seen a whole lot more of that. They would have shot 49 threes. They would have shot 53 threes. Who knows? But I don't know. I think that it was just the fact that the game was what it was. The matchup presented itself, and they just did that exact. They attacked the point of emphasis of attacking the paint there. But looks like my brother from Bleed Blue is here. Steve Azul is here. You want to bring him in?
We're gonna get Kev's opinion, and then we're gonna bring him in after.
All right, boss.
I don't like boss.
I mean, to be honest with you, like, is there really a game plan? Like, we don't even know what we're gonna get from game to game with this team, to be honest with you. And and I love my Knicks. I love them, don't get me wrong, but I don't even know if they draw plays out or anything. Like, we don't even know, what Mike Brown does. I think he's still learning his own system. I don't think he knows. I mean, as a team, we are shooting the three, right? I think 37% from the three as a team. But to me, I think attacking the basket should be the number one goal from here on forward. And if guys, kick it out, shoot the three, whatever. But I mean, we played the Charlotte Hornets. Let's be real here. We're not playing like if it would have been one of those top tier teams, I think attacking the basket would have been way more difficult and it would have been tough. Cat would have had a whole different game if it was another team. I think that we did what we were supposed to do against them and against this team because of who we playing. But I don't know, man. Like I don't even know what this is. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to Steve from Bleed Blue in the building. Big facts, you know
What
what I
up,
mean?
Steve?
Appreciate you for
What up,
pulling
T?
up, homie.
What
You know
up,
what I mean?
Steve?
Appreciate you for pulling up, homie. So now that you're here, we got to get you right into the conversation, obviously, right? So, do you think the points in the paint dominance that we had tonight was more of game planning or a talent gap?
Talent gap. Talent gap. The Hornets stink. So we had to win. I said it about 20 minutes ago when Ab was with us before he jumped on with you guys. Right opponent at the right time. It was almost the same situation we had a couple of weeks ago when we had the back-to-back versus the Grizzlies on the Tuesday, and then the very next day played the Magic. I wish they would have been flipped had we played the Magic first and played them off a day's rest and then went into that game against the Grizzlies and we would have won both of them. Thank goodness on this back-to-back we played the Hornets. They stink, man. It's going to take like 4 years for them. So the answer is talent gap. Take the win because they're on the schedule.
Makes the most sense. I mean, you look at how most back-to-backs are. We usually, when you're playing the weaker opponent first, you beat them up, you put belt to ass, and you're feeling good. And then you're playing the more superior opponent on the second night. Now you don't have fresh legs. You're a little winded, and who knows if you're dealing with an injury? Maybe you stubbed your toe. Maybe you cracked the toenail. Whatever the case may be. Maybe you lost half a step. When you're playing the weaker opponent first, is always a problem because you have to be able to carry that momentum the next day. If you're playing the harder opponent, in that case, you usually fare a little bit easier because you know that you don't have to put up the same kind of effort, you're not facing the same level of talent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so my 2 cents is I agree with everybody on the panel. It was definitely a talent gap. Because I don't really think that we really dominated the pen. It may look like that from the score aspect of the box score, but I felt like rebounding, especially defensive rebounding, wasn't really that great. I saw them getting way too many offensive rebounding on their behalf, the Charlotte Hornets. But I don't really think I think it was just a talent gap while we scored in the paint so much because we didn't have no other option. We shot not really great from 3-point range tonight. We had to go to the cup. There was no other option for us to win the game. If we would have kept on trying to win from the perimeter, we would have lost this game tonight. So it was definitely just a talent gap. I don't think it was game planning. Mike Brown shows that he has no interest in winning this game. any games for that matter outside of shooting 43 pointers a night. We've seen that already. You know what I mean? And that's not no hate towards him. I'm not really mad at him, but we know that's what his philosophy is with this roster, uh, which is still kind of crazy. So we just gonna hang our hat on shooting as many 3-pointers as possible. We're going to rely on the players to be like, guys, maybe not our night from shooting from 3-point range, and we just got to attack the basket. And I feel like it's kind of what was one of those nights that we just decided, hey, we're bigger than these guys. Pause. Let's score. Yeah, I mean, so that's how I feel that went. You know what I mean?
And that should be the plan every night. I mean, there's not many teams that got someone that can handle Cat. You know what I
Especially
mean?
when he playing at the 5.
Right. There's not many teams. Even when he goes into the paint, like we need to maximize our strength. Like this straight three is for the birds. I'm so over it, and y'all know I rarely talk badly about Tibbs and all that he did that I didn't like, but never really like said I was over him. I'm over this dude, and we only 21 games in. This nonsense that he's showing us with the talent that we have on this team, he needs to get his ass gone away from this team.
So here's my thing though. My rebut before we move on, right? Because we have to move on. His willingness to accept responsibility is the only thing.
But what's the point of accepting responsibility if you're not changing shit? That's like saying sorry and doing the same shit the next day.
No. Now the 3-point shit, that's a different story. But it is things that have been changed that he accept responsibility for. Yeah, I mean, like we all know Josh Hart need to be on the court. To do what Josh Hart does, he has to be on the court. That was one of the things that he did bad. You feel me? And he changed that. And now we're starting to see Josh Hart look more like Josh Hart.
But,
you know what I mean?
But did he change it
in that
because OG
aspect
ain't
though?
there? And is it going to reverse?
I wasn't finished though. I wasn't finished. It was something else that I can't remember exactly what he said that was a complaint. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, I was the only person looking at it this way. And the entire team was looking at it another way. And I had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, maybe you're the problem. Tibbs, my guy. Tibbs is my guy. He would have never did that shit. Fuck all you guys. It's going to be the way I did it. I said it's going to be this way, and this way we're going to do it. And I'm not saying that makes Mike Brown perfect. I'm just saying it's something I appreciate. You know what I mean?
I don't.
I'm going to open the floor a little bit for pushback on that, and then we have to keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, Kev.
Go ahead, Kev.
I lost my train of thought.
My bad, homie.
I need to get back to it, man.
My bad, homie. My bad. Yeah, I mean, I thought I didn't take up enough time to knock anybody off their pivot. My fault, homie.
Good.
So, but we are going to move on. You know what I mean? We're going to move on to news around the league. The Fraz said he was going to do it, so I was going to chill tonight.
Oh, I got it. It came back. All right,
Listen to me.
Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you. Yes, starting Josh Hart has helped our team, and he is doing what he's doing. But it also has affected our bench. Our numbers, our bench points has gone down since since he started Josh Hart. I ain't gonna, it has taken it. Our bench has taken a hit. To be honest with you, I love Josh, and to me, I always said I think he should be coming off the bench, because he gives that bench that energy that it don't have right now, and that's why you seeing a dip. You know what I mean? Because he takes him and Deuce and him, Deuce and JC. I think they all I want to say, I don't want to say it because I know the pause police is around, so I got to figure out another word to come up with. There's a better fit there, and those guys, like, to me, they gel well together, and for some reason the bench looks way better when those three guys are coming off the bench. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Josh could start as well. He could do everything, to be honest with you, but I think that since he's been on the starting lineup, our bench took a hit, and I think that's another thing Mike Brown got to fix, man, because we can't be having our bench struggling all the time, man.
So,
well, that's
who's about to talk?
Yeah,
Oh, we got to let the guests talk for sure.
Yeah. The quick answer for that is because Shaman and Anunoby's hurt, so Hart is probably there temporarily. So when those guys get back, things will go back to normal. That's the quick answer.
Right, and I think that's why I think like he was blowing smoke when he's saying, I went and fixed it. You ain't have an option to fix it because we down two people, right? Because OG's out. Shamus was starting. Now Shamus out. Who you gonna put? You have to put somebody in, right? And it was defaulted Josh and Deuce. So yeah, he can say all that, but reality is if one of those two or both of them didn't go down, Josh wouldn't be playing as many minutes and not starting either.
I'm going to say this much. Before Shaman went down, Josh Hart was getting more minutes. That's a fact. Shaman went down, it changed a lot of things. But before Shaman got hurt, Josh was getting a lot more minutes than he was in the beginning of the season. Josh Hart was sitting at the end of the games, which wasn't happening before Shaman went down. I mean, just to give a fair assessment. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on nobody's tape. I'm just saying, to give a fair assessment, Josh Hart was playing a lot more minutes before the injuries really started to pile up. But one thing I'm going to say before we go to the next topic, this is not on the schedule. This is Tea Time personal take. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to do it, right? I like Jordan Clarkson. I like the potential of what he could bring to this team. But I'm going to say this. My boy got about a month and some change to start proving that potential or pack him the fuck up. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? We got a few games from Jordan Clarkson where that's the Jordan Clarkson we traded, we signed. But it ain't enough of those games to make me be like, yeah, this is the guy we're going to win in the playoffs with. That's all I'm saying. He got a month and some change before he got to pack it up. Because, Knickerbocker Ave, what is this supposed to be?
It's supposed to be the season of destiny, the season we've been waiting everybody on this panel, we've waited our entire lives for this season. And if I'm
Hallelujah,
sorry,
holla back.
You said you're giving him a month and a half. I'm giving him 12 days.
12
days. The NBA trade deadline season officially begins because all contracts become tradable.
Yeah, listen, I called on the right person for sure because I thought I was a rough critic. This guy is worse than me.
I'll drop a nuclear bomb on that one. I love. That's the thing. I love Jordan Clarkson. Again, love the potential, but so far it hasn't been paying the huge dividends. Like right now, our bench is getting outscored, and it's not like he's starting any games. It's still getting outscored.
And it looks nasty. It's not like we just get out.
It looks atrocious. It looks lost, and you're seeing it. You're basically seeing the reason why Tom Thibodeau played his starters 40 minutes a night every night. Because now, if you haven't realized, if you guys have been paying attention to the box score, Mike Brown's doing the same exact identical thing.
Yo, think about that. How at the beginning of the season, did I not panel, did I not say, yo, these numbers kind of look weird? It kind of looks like. I said this once he got over that 11-man rotation, I said, hey, these numbers look weird. And all right, that's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Steve, when you go back to Bleed Blue, right? And guys start talking about the rotation numbers are looking kind of familiar. I just need you to say, my boy T-Tom over at Knicks said this months ago. That's all I need. That's all I need.
I got two things to say.
You know, but to defend Jordan Clarkson though,
Absolutely.
right? To defend Jordan Clarkson, bro.
That's what we do. We get fish shakes. Pause. Hey yo.
Yeah, that was an Ayo. That was definitely an Ayo. That was
like
an Ayo. Yeah.
That was like a Ron Simmons damn.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But listen, like he this is not the Utah Jazz. You know what I mean? Where he got to take over and start chucking up shots left and right, and he gotta put up 18, 20 because he gotta help bring this team back. This ain't the Utah Jazz. This is the Knicks, man. Like, we really got talent on this team. You know what I mean? And the ball gotta be moved around. You know, we got a Deuce McBride on this team. That we got a Josh Hart. We got some talent on the team right now. So, I mean, I could see why he could be a little, passive or not as aggressive as he should be. Because sometimes, like we said, like we just don't, we might need him to take a few shots here and there, but we're not gonna need him to just go off all the time, if that makes sense.
All right, I got 2 cents to say to that, and then I have another point on what you guys said last night. And I applaud y'all what y'all said. I'll get to that. But as far as Jordan Clarkson, he's struggling now. I'll even go back to last year because I told Av on his Instagram live last year when I called in, like, Jordan Clarkson is not the same Jordan Clarkson that we know him to be. He kind of like took a step back as far as he's getting older basically. So when the Knicks signed him, I wasn't overly optimistic per se. He's just going through a shooting slump right now. He's getting wide open threes. They're giving him the extra pass. It almost looks like Mikal Bridges last year when he couldn't make threes at this point last year. I think Jordan Clarkson will clean it up a little bit. Some of the floaters are just not dropping like they normally should, but I think this is just a straight up shooting slump, and a lot of the guys in the league go through it. But my other point, I want to give you guys credit, and I don't think I heard nobody say this, including us. You guys got on Jalen Brunson's ass last night, and rightfully so. And that takes a lot of guts because a lot of people aren't going to challenge the MVP or the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. You guys did call it out, T-Time called it out. He was right because you should have been feeding Bridges, and that's one thing I heard on you guys playback. That damn, you guys are right. Got to call it for what it was for the Boston game from last night. I just want to give you guys salutes for saying that out because no Knick fan, for the most part, ain't calling that out because it's Jalen Brunson, but it's true.
He ain't Jesus Christ.
Listen.
I mean,
what we do here, right?
To us, he's Jesus Christ.
Hold on.
Knick
But
Nation.
what we do here, right? But yeah, listen, Kev, you ain't never tell a lie. But what we do here, right? Even Jesus Christ is getting that frying pan. You know what I mean? He getting that frying pan because at the end of the day, Knickerbocker asked, tell me one more time what it's supposed to be.
This is the season of destiny, the season we've waited our entire lives for. But I will say, I'm calling blasphemy on that last comment you made. But okay,
Listen, listen. I'm going where I'm going, and that's up for discussion. But what I'm saying is this, right? Nobody on this roster is above reproach or scrutiny. Do you feel
No.
me? Even the Cap. We all love the Cap. That's undeniable. You know what I mean? We all love everybody who dons the jersey. You feel me? There's a few people that every once in a while we might be like, I get that motherfucker out of here. But that for this panel, that's few and far between. Yeah, I mean, we usually try to find the bright spots on everybody. So when somebody's on this panel talking about we need to get him out of here, that says a lot. And especially it says a lot when the Cap has to be the one getting scrutinized, right? And last night he deserved every bit of scrutiny that he got. And you said that. He deserved it. You know what I mean? But that's all I'm saying. It's like it ain't no bravery. It's just what we do. You feel me? It's what we do here at Knicks. Everybody can get work. That's it.
At the end of the day, it's always been, and this is, and
On the
Steve
front.
knows it, it's the name on the front, not the name on the back. The name on the front of the jersey says New York.
Yo.
Say that again, Uncle Paulie. Say that again.
La Cosa Nostra.
Yeah.
That's why I love the Yankees, because our jerseys don't have names in the back.
You heard.
There's
You
some,
heard.
there's some, but there is some players that get held to a higher standard. That's like, all right, you know what? It might not be, the name of the jersey, but this guy right here might get an exception. You know what I'm saying?
Not when we
There's
lose to
some
Boston.
players that
Yo,
get an
Not when we
exception.
lose to
Sorry to cut
Boston.
you off. Sorry to cut you off. Sorry to cut you off.
Not when you 6 for
We
21.
also beat Boston too, though, this year. We also beat them too.
We hella behind schedule, y'all. We hella behind schedule. Like hella. We still talking about like the kind of game shit. We ain't getting into nothing else yet. And we like almost an hour in. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to cut y'all off. My bad. You know what I mean? But we gotta keep it moving. So tonight or today, we got the news. This is probably gonna be red word. Fred said he was gonna do it. He's not here, so I'm probably gonna do it. So I'm gonna let y'all talk first. Just know, nigga about Ab probably gonna have to be ready on the button.
Already am.
Today we got the news that Chris Paul was sent home by the Los Angeles Clippers. He was set to finish his career. He announced that he was going to retire at the end of the year and was set to finish his final year as a Los Angeles Clipper. As he self-proclaimed said he was doing whatever it took to get back to Los Angeles Clippers for this season. And they sent him home. My question to the panel is this. How bad is this a look for the Clippers versus he was just a conflict of what the Clippers was looking for from a leadership position? I can't remember who went last, so don't get me to do it.
Let's go, Steve. Why don't you lead off this one?
I just found out about this shit tonight, so this is news to me, but I'm not surprised Chris Paul is at the end of his rope, talent-wise. I mean, just go back to the tape of when you saw Chris Paul come into the league from Wake Forest, and he got signed by the New Orleans Hornets, and they had that weird situation. They were bouncing back and forth between New Orleans and Oklahoma City. Go back to how he played at that time. I mean, he was literally the best point guard in it, like 2007, 8, 9. Like him and Nash. Nash won MVPs, but Chris Paul was a dog, man. The handles, the shooting, the assists. Then he goes to the Clippers when he was, paired up with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. I say all this to say, so I could pass the mic. He's just not the same version of him. He had a very good career, and he's going to get into the Hall of Fame because the NBA Hall of Fame is the weakest Hall of Fame of the four-team major sports. So he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. It is what it is. No championship, but the NBA's the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Everybody gets in, and Chris Paul's going to get in, so he's good. So as far as Hall of Fame legacy.
Whoever wants to fill in after, and then I go from there.
I think it's bullshit. I really hate when teams do this shit. Like, you knew he was at the end when you signed him, right? So why sign him and then do this after he announces that this is his last season, he's going to retire? I feel like someone like him deserves, to get that retirement tour. And for you to, take that from someone is kind of fucked up. And it gives me, and I'm not a Clippers fan, but it gives me when the Knicks did the bullshit with Patrick Ewing. You know what I mean? The man done gave his all. Pat gave his all to us. CP gave his all to the league. You know what I mean? And this is how you end it. Like, this is why players don't give a fuck. And they do what they want to do, because at the end of the day, time after time after time, we're shown that this is a business and they don't really give a fuck about you as a player. And so, I mean, I hope someone picks him up once they waive him and give him the respect he deserves. I mean, everybody deserves to go out, especially when they gave so much to the league. Same way I feel about, Melo. Like, I'm not a huge Melo fan, but Melo deserved his little retirement tour, and he never got it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for him. And again, I hope someone picks him up to, although he may not give on the court, he could still be like that player coach for a young team or any team, really.
Knickerbocker ass.
I am not totally surprised that this kind of bullshit happens out of the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's recall history. They were one of the worst teams, worst run organizations for most of my childhood. I think they probably had one winning season in that whole stretch. Then they had the Donald Sterling situation. Then you find out that Kawhi Leonard was taking money under the table. Then they do this. This is why I'm not surprised. Because the Los Angeles Clippers, for whatever reason, smell like shit. They look like shit. They are shit. And if you're a Clipper fan, I actually am genuinely, I feel sorry for you. Similar to how, us Yankee fans feel bad for our little brother, the Mets. We kind of feel bad for them in a little way. Because you can invest all your faith and all your money and all your time and your fandom in an organization only for them to let you down in the end, because they don't even know how to properly honor a professional sports athlete who gave and gave and gave. You've never heard Chris Paul being in part of any kind of scandal. You've never heard a negative thing heard about Chris Paul ever. Chris Paul has been a statesman. He's been part of the players union. He's been over and over and over a person that you can emulate from. Yes, let's be realistic. Yes, he made millions, and he was injured a lot, and he was at the tail end of his career. And honestly, he probably should have retired last season. But at the end of the day, when a once-in-a-lifetime kind of talent comes into the league, shows out, does what he does, and then gives his announcement that he's going to retire, only for him to be sent home by the organization. Also because, there's some kind of dissension between him and the coach, which that happens. But Ty Lue, it would have been just one more season. Just one. And more often than not, like I said, he's been plagued by injuries over the last 7 years of his career anyway. How much of that was he really going to be part of? So the Clippers, as an organization, can get this for fucking over a true fire Hall of Famer, a true fire, statesman, a great representative of what a professional athlete should be. Mr. State Farm himself. I don't care how you want to look at it. You can clown about it all you want. Chris Paul deserved better than this, and the Clippers fucked that up.
Sincerely, from a Knicks fan.
Kev, before I go on my rant, please.
I mean, I think a lot of y'all said everything, but we talking about the Clippers. They're like the Brooklyn Nets of the West Coast, nothing but drama. What do for them to do that I think ain't he like the best Clipper of all time? He's like probably the best Clipper of all time, and that's how you treat the best player of all time of that organization. It just goes to show you that the Clippers have no class, and there's a lot of drama probably going on in that locker room. You got guys like James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. You don't know how the chemistry of that team is looking right now in the locker room. There's probably a lot of bullshit going on, a lot of back and forth, and it was toxic, most likely. We won't never know. But I'm not surprised that the Clippers did something like this. It's nothing new. This ain't gonna be the first or the last time this ever happens. We're probably gonna hear some more drama later down the line. But like Anna said, I hope that when the opportunity comes that they waive him, a team picks him up, and maybe a contender picks him up, and it'll finally give him that opportunity to get the chip that he never had. That's what I hope for him. So that's how I'm gonna end it.
Knickerbocker Ave, tune up my music, man. Fucking Clippers, you sorry son of a bitches. You feel me? The Clippers are. Hold on, wait till my shit drop. Yeah, the Clippers are the joke of an organization that everybody thought the Knicks was for all these years. You feel me? You're talking about an organization that never won anything, and they're never going to win anything, because look at the way that they treat even the legends of their organization. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Chris Paul deserved none of what he got today. It's not like y'all even waited till y'all got home from the road trip. Y'all went in like a thief of the night and told him in the middle of the night that, hey, we're sending you back to the crib. Chris Paul didn't deserve none of that, because what? Chris Paul has been the same person he's been his whole entire time in the NBA, holding everybody accountable. Not only just the players, the front office and the coaching staff. From what I've heard, I'm not saying that I got insiders. That's not what I do. That's corny. I don't have insiders. But what I've learned from the internet is that Chris Paul and Tyronn Lue hasn't spoken in weeks. They haven't spoken to each other in weeks. And who the fuck is Tyronn Lue to think that he has the authority to get Chris Paul kicked off any team? Tyronn Lue has never been even half of the player that Chris Paul has ever been in his career. You are better as a coach only because you've had the most fire players in your whole career. It's not like because you had to build it from the ground up. Nigga, you had LeBron and other Hall of Fame talent career players in your career. It's not because you had to build that from the ground up. So who the fuck are you to think that you are the one to go, hey, we don't need Chris Paul, nigga? Yes, you need Chris Paul. You know why? Because the Clippers are absolute shit show of the NBA. You have Kawhi Leonard, you have James Harden, and you motherfuckers still stink ass. Funky, stinky ass. Not just stink ass. Y'all funky, stinky ass. Bum ass. You know what I mean? Funky, stinky bum ass. That's what y'all are. And you won't treat Chris Paul in this manner. It's disgusting. It should never happen. It's Chris Paul. He is one of the greatest point guards who ever graced the game. And he's never been a Knick, and I'm saying this. He's one of the greatest point guards who've ever graced the game. Not only for the Clippers organization, I'm just saying, who've ever graced the game. It's a reason they call him the point god. It is a reason for it. I didn't make up the name. It's a name that's been given to him through his journey throughout the league. There would be no Lob City if it wasn't for Chris Paul. It would be no run where it was like y'all was looked as even competitors to the Lakers. Lob City was looking as competitors, and y'all were better than the Lakers in that time. Because of Chris Paul, there will be no emergence of Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin don't turn into who he was if it wasn't for Chris Paul. These are facts. I'm not making this shit up.
Case in point, look where he is now.
Nah, Detroit, he was wild in his first year in Detroit. Let's not do that. Yeah,
Trash ass prime.
I ain't go.
It was longer than insanity. What'd he do?
Or Blake Griffin. He bugged out his first year in Detroit. But I also believe that comes from his development under Chris Paul. You know what I mean? Look at Chris Paul when he went to wherever he went in the prime of his career, somebody else turned into a different monster. Look at James Harden playing with Chris Paul. Look at Blake Griffin playing with Chris Paul.
Look at Victor Wembanyama
playing with Chris Paul.
Man, Mikal Bridges played really good under Chris Paul.
Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton.
You hear what I'm saying? They went to the finals.
I think they went to the finals.
Yeah, they went to the finals. Then you hear what I'm saying? So the treatment because of the executives, because this is what I'm gathering. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not an insider. But from what I'm gathering, the insiders don't like the way Chris Paul was fucking talking to them. Is what got Chris Paul sent home and robbing that man of his fucking farewell tour. Well-deserved farewell tour. Every stadium he went to after he announced his retirement, he deserved that standing ovation. It's fucking Chris Paul. It's Chris Paul. We're not talking about Paul Pierce. We're talking about Chris Paul. It's a big difference.
Because out of all the other players, you usually have like a negative connotation with them. Like there's like some hate. I don't know any fan that has a negative thing to say about Chris Paul other than, oh, he's injured sometimes. Aside from that, what negative thing can you say about him?
You know what they always say? He's the point guard. Yeah, I mean, the only people who have negative conversations about Chris Paul is players who played against Chris Paul.
Yep.
That's it. Even DeMarcus Cousins, who himself admittedly said he still hate that guy, said he deserved his flowers, think that is wrong what happened to Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and that says everything that you need to know. It's disgusting. I'm not a Chris Paul fan. I am a Chris Paul fan. Like I like.
I was dying for him to come on the Knicks every time he was available. I remember that. I remember that. Everybody was like, "Yo, we need to pair him with Melo."
Yeah, I'm not going to say that I wasn't a fan of his game. Absolutely was. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody deserved what Chris Paul just had to go through, especially a legend of his stature. First ballot Hall of Famer. You're talking about a first ballot Hall of Famer. You knew he was going to be a shadow of himself when you signed him. You knew this. Everybody knew this, right? But to do it the way you did is disgusting. Disgusting. I'm not done with the topic. I know we super behind schedule, but I'm not done with the topic. I got to ask the panel something else, right? Just so I could tie it into the Knicks. I got to. Yeah, I know I got to. Now that CP3 is available, I hate to do this because this is the kind of shit that I hate. Yeah, I mean, now that CP3 is available, should the Knicks consider kicking the tires if CP3 want to finish his career at the end of the season or now? I see Steve shaking his head. And
love CP3, but nah, this like Av. What is it? What's this year? Say it again, Av.
This is the season we have waited our whole lives for. Not the season we've waited our whole lives to get for CP3 to finally fulfill that toast he had 10 years ago.
I mean, he can fill in and be that Jason Kidd type point guard that we had back in when.
Yeah.
We talking about
whose minutes are we giving? Whose minutes are we
Jason
giving?
Kidd broke down against the Pacers, man. You don't want that against Detroit this year.
Listen, bro. The question was asked, right? All I'm saying is that we not talking about some bum ass point guard from God knows when. We talking about a legend right now. We talking about a guy who is a what? How many time All-Star?
Well,
I mean, really?
got the number, but there's a lot of time.
How many time All-Star here this guy is? We not talking about some bum ass guy here. We talking about Chris Paul. Now, I'm not saying for us to get him, but the question was asked. He can be that Jason Kidd type player that the Knicks had back then. He could play that role. We're not asking him to do big things here.
Yeah, I usually wait till everybody say their piece, but I can't on this one, right? If you gotta ask me this question, right? If I had a choice between Chris Paul now coming off the bench for Tyler Kolek, I'm taking Chris Paul. if right now in this moment you talking about old man Chris Paul coming off the bench to spell Jalen Brunson or Tyler Kolek, I'm fucking taking Chris Paul. I'm not batting an eye. I'm not second guessing myself. I'm not being like maybe if. No, it's no maybe if. It's Clifford Paul. It's Clifford Paul. Every fucking single time. You feel me? And I'll take my chances with injury, age, whatever the case it may be. Yeah, I mean, and that's no disrespect to Tyler Kolek. I love Tyler Kolek. I think Tyler Kolek has a chance to be something definitive in this league if he develops the right way. I just think you have Clifford Paul. Yeah, I mean, like he don't even need to do half of the shit that he was doing on other teams. We can carry Chris Paul to the playoffs. You talking about somebody who's been in big situations and delivered in big situations. We're talking about one of the, in my opinion, 5 greatest point guards of all time.
Name them.
That's better than Chris Paul.
Name them. You said top 5. Name them.
I'm being gracious by saying top 5.
Okay.
I'm being gracious. He's probably closer to top 2 or like the 3. And I'm gonna give you Stockton, and I'm gonna give you Magic Johnson. Outside of that, shrug shoulders.
Better than Walt?
Whoa,
Clyde.
Fraser.
Clyde? I think Clyde was more of a combo guard than he was a point guard.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, now as a Knicks fan, I would never say
Kevin
he's
Johnson.
better.
That's
So
blasphemy.
look, now as a Knicks fan, if you put me against that pause, against that wall, to say that is he better than Walt Clyde Frazier, I'm going to tell you no, because I'm a fucking Knicks fan.
He's not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fucking Knicks fan, right? But if you give me the pause, because y'all all freaks. If you go give me the wiggle room to say that I can put Walt as more of a combo guard because he was a shooter and he was a scorer, especially in his era, that makes him more of a combo guard. I'm going to say that pure point guard wise, Chris Paul is better. You know what I mean?
And can I say this before you keep going? He's gonna come here. If you think Mikal Bridges is playing out of his mind now, with Chris Paul is gonna unleash another type of Mikal Bridges y'all probably haven't seen in a long time, because the way those guys, the chemistry that those guys had in Phoenix, and Mikal Bridges will tell you himself was insane. You know what I'm saying? So, and not only that, he is going to put Tyler Kolek under his wing, and he is going to teach that man. This is why it's mind-boggling to me.
You took exactly what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. I did it, but I just had to do it because it's I don't. Why would we not want to bring that type of experience? We trying to contend.
Who you giving up to get him?
Av. This is the what?
How you gonna get him here?
Wait, this is the what? This is the what? The season of what?
The season of destiny. The season we waited our whole lives for.
Okay, so imagine.
Kev. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let you land the plane. He said, "Who we giving up for?" He'll come here on a vet minimum, which
we have no roster spots.
We do. There's a lot of scrubs on this roster that shouldn't even be here.
So what?
Listen. I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure there's a way.
He's never gonna play.
We talking about Leon Rose here. Let's not second guess. Let's not start kind of question our general management and our front office. I'm sure there's a way they could finagle something in order to get this guy here. We're talking about Leon Rose. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he can make something happen if it comes to available, and we might not gonna have to give nothing up because the Clippers, if they waive him, they still got. We don't gotta pay that.
So we still have to move someone because we need the spot, not necessarily the money.
No, and I understand that. And that's why I think I'm not a general manager. None of us are either. But Leon Rose has made some moves, right? That has helped this team get better. And I'm sure there's a way he could figure something out because we're talking about Chris Paul here. This is what I'm saying.
Point guard, you heard? So I agree. We gotta keep it moving. We got to keep it moving. I got one more question.
One point to that, to what Anna said though, real quick, because there is that factor. You said it in your T-Time. You said it in your observation as far as it's the age and it's the potential of the injury part at his age now. That's the issue for me, and it's the same thing that happened when Kidd came to the Knicks, where he just literally couldn't even make a layup against the Pacers. He just collapsed right in front of our eyes. And then the other player, Anna mentioned Patrick Ewing, how he got disrespected. I was actually going to mention Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker is from the Bronx. Kemba Walker was an all-star point guard. I'm not saying he's CP3 on a pro level, but my point is when he got to the Knicks, he was shot. So that's the dilemma with your observation as far as the injury that I'm concerned about. Can he hold up? And that's the part you have to analyze in physicality, durability. That part I don't know because I haven't really been following Chris Paul like that. But I'm with you. Like the Clippers, what they did, they should never sign him. They're gonna do that to him on his farewell. So that's the fucked up part about the Clippers.
Let's see real quick, right? I think the situations are different, right? I don't think we need to play Chris Paul heavy minutes for us to still be successful. Excuse me. I don't think that is a situation where we got to get rid of Tyler Kolek for us to still be successful, right? I think that we can limp Chris Paul into the playoffs and then be like, all right, we got you here. Do what you do, right?
You got 5 minutes.
You do what you do. Not even 5 minutes. I think we can give him way more than 5 minutes. I get what you're saying. It was funny. I get it. Yeah, I mean, not to let the joke, go over my head. I get it, but I'm trying to keep my train of thought. My fault. Yeah, I mean, I think that we can get him to the playoffs where he can still be super effective. Yeah, I mean, Tyler Kolek has limited, playoff experience. Even if we get back healthy, it'll still be a benefit to be like, all right, we still got Chris Paul. Somebody not only that can open up the offense for everybody else, but still can hit those middies in big situations, coming off the bench. And how fire of a story would that be, right? On the closing of such a great career that is void of a championship to help us franchise, such a story franchise that's avoided of a championship to make this ultimate culmination. The NBA loves stories, man. They love stories. You feel me? So
that's right.
I think that they're probably working our advantage. I don't know what's going to happen. Us just talking about it is definitely a pipe dream. I think Chris Paul is probably going to ride off into the sunset. I think he just wanted to go back to California to retire.
We won't hear about anything else until he gets on Melo's podcast, and then he'll tell us what happened.
Exactly. right. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not doubt that James Harden is behind this all.
I wouldn't be mad either because bro. You know why?
I would not doubt everywhere he go. Huh?
I think he's the reason why Chris Paul's left the Rockets the first time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And then you leave you Brooklyn turmoil. Philadelphia, turmoil. Clippers right now, turmoil, bro.
And they still suck. That's all I'm saying.
And they
All right,
trash.
let's
Can
keep
I
it
just
going. We
2
almost an
seconds
hour
on
and a
it?
half in. I'm sorry, sis. Go ahead.
And y'all talking about what he does, what he can do on the court. But for me, it's more what he can do not even playing, right? That's another one. We don't have a real vet on the team. 2, his vision for the game brings so much to a team like this. And Kev took what I was going to say, but having one of the best point guards to ever play the game, then pair him up with one of the best point guards currently in the game to both mentor Tyler Kolek would be undeniably a great thing. I mean, Tyler Kolek will only become 100 times better than what he is. You know, under both of their wings, Tyler Kolek already has that court vision. If he can get someone to just pour them their knowledge into him, I think pause. I think he will benefit from it. You know, even today, seeing him get angry and hold his teammates accountable shows that he has what it takes. He just needs that development. And having a vet like CP as well as Jalen mentoring him in this crucial year of his career will be huge.
Yo, when he cursed Porty out, I was crying, bro. Cause I read his lips. I read his dunk the fucking ball. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I stood up. And I did one of these. Like on the like yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Tyler. Talk that shit,
Yeah,
bro.
because he
Hold him,
absolutely should have. He
hold him
absolutely should.
accountable for that because that was bullshit. You was right there. Under the basket. Dunk the fucking ball, bro. If you don't want to dunk it, then lay it up. Cool.
Yeah, score the basketball.
Score
So,
the basketball. Fuck that 3-point shit, bro.
so this is my last thing on this topic before we move on because we got another topic to get to. We got 2 topics to get to still. Last thing on this topic is, you know, we mentioned Tyler Kolek, we mentioned, Jalen Brunson. Just to have some and just have a team, period, that is willing to take accountability. You know what I mean? We have a team full of players that are willing to take accountability for when they fuck up. And have a player like Chris Paul who's willing to tell everybody they shit stink. Even the coach is willing to take accountability. We heard it. I did this wrong. I noticed everybody else except for me was on this wave. And I realized I was the person that was wrong. That seems like a perfect place for a veteran like Chris Paul to help us win a championship. I'm saying if that's what we really want to do, right? We could easily cut one of the guys that we're not playing anyway, right? The McCullers, the whoever else the fuck. That we're not
Dadier.
Huh?
Become Dadier. Kevin McCullough
we're
Jr.
We're not gonna do Dadier like that. He's gonna be.
It was some. Who's the other one?
But McCullough, we definitely not playing him. It's a wrap.
Trey Jameson.
Yo, there's a guy in street clothes that I saw on the bench today. Get him up out
the
of
one
here,
with the
bro.
locks. I don't even know his
Right,
name.
like, yo, who is he? Get him up out of here, bro.
That's all I'm
Pack
saying.
him up.
That's all I'm saying. There's room for Chris Paul to be a part of what we're trying to do. That's all I'm saying, right?
Right.
But to move on finally, because we are an hour and a half in and we still got 2 topics to go through. Today we found out. I hate this shit, bro. I ain't going to lie to y'all. I hate this shit. Giannis did. We found out today that Giannis did request a trade in the offseason.
We knew that already.
Well, it was rumors. It wasn't confirmed, right? Via Brian Windhurst, the fat man himself. He said that during the offseason, Giannis did request a trade, but agreed to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks as long as they had a commitment to winning this season. So my question to the panel, right? Do you believe these rumblings have real legs, or this just noise and frustration from the media and fans? Let's do. We don't have guests as often, so let's be gracious hosts and keep on letting our guests start off.
Well, I'm anti-rumors as it get. Av knows how I get down with that. Trade rumors, I believe it when I see it. Nothing's out of the realm. After what we saw last season when Luka went to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, whoever thought that would happen? A prime player for pretty much a guy kind of past his prime. So to answer the question as far as Giannis being traded or requesting trade rumors, I'm not surprised. So I kind of leave it there, and I don't really get into the rumor mill avenue because I just think a lot of it is more fiction than facts. But over the last couple of years, some crazy stuff has gone down. So if he requested a trade, it is what it is. I mean, he's a top 2 or top 3 buck of all time in Milwaukee. So he probably wants to move on with his life or whatever. He can only but do so much in Milwaukee. So that's another key to that.
Knickerbocker Ave, talk to me.
I already knew this. Considering that they were even discussing this during the offseason, there was apparently a 2 or 3 week window where Milwaukee was only talking to the Knicks to make this trade happen. And after that window came and went, they were looking at, both sides were kind of blaming the other that the deal didn't get done. We know Giannis bought a house out in the Hamptons. We know that he likes to vacation here, which is, everyone else vacations elsewhere. They come to visit here, not to vacation here. It's kind of crazy, but the reality is that Milwaukee's not going to do this. And if I were Milwaukee, I wouldn't do this. There is no rule in the book that says that I have to do this if I'm Milwaukee. They have this man contracted for another two more years. Where then after, I think it's in the middle of next season, then he can sign a $280 million extension of some sort of like that. So Giannis can cry foul all he wants until I get a team that offers me a deal that's like a sweetheart deal, like a Danny Ainge type deal, where I'm getting 33 draft picks and 2 young stars who are ready to help me compete and win a title. Giannis, you can cry all you want. You go to the other end of the bench with all 3 of your brothers that they're all on the Milwaukee Bucks. Have yourself a Euro, do what you gotta do, and get comfortable. Because at this point, if apparently he wants to come to the Knicks, damn well there is nothing the Knicks can offer the Bucks that that'll make them say, "Oh yeah, we want that." No. And frankly, I'm not willing to dismantle my team in the same way that we did for Carmelo Anthony, 14 years ago. I'm not doing that again. I think I learned my lesson. Although I love Carmelo Anthony and I consider it one of the best things that ever happened to this organization in a long time. but I'm not doing that again. Especially when I've said it now 5 times on this show. I'm going to say it again. This is the season of destiny. This is the season I've waited my whole life for. And I want to see it completed and come to fruition with the team that we have. And that, I mean, I've seen a number of different mock trades and ideas. And, you know, I'm sorry, I get on his case a lot. I'm not giving up Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm not giving up, you know, whatever picks or pick swaps that we have. I'm sorry, Giannis, but if you want to come to the Knicks, talk to me in June.
All right. I usually wait again. This is another situation. I usually wait to the end to give my 2 cents. But since this is such a stark contrast in what was just said, I think I would do the fans a disjustice and not interjecting myself right now. Pause. I would disagree on a few levels, right? Obviously, I wouldn't mind keeping the team as is right now. And I've always been a person that's not been a fan of mid-season trades or pretty much trades predominantly, right? But if the right trade came about for Giannis, I'm taking that trade. That trade would include Cat and anybody below the talent level of Josh Hart, right? Whoever you feel that's the talent level or below Josh Hart and Cat, I'm taking that trade for sure. And I'm gonna tell you why. I like Cat. Don't get me wrong. Love Cat. I love what he brings to this team. I love his skill set. But Giannis Antetokounmpo is a certified fucking killer. Certified killer. That man has one level and is destroy whoever he's trying to play. And I love that. Cat doesn't have that level. Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for it to happen. Every time he plays elite level talent, we missing Cat. You feel me? We're missing Cat. And I believe he could get to that point where he shows up when we need him the most. For us to win the championship and fulfill the season of destiny, I need him to be able to destroy all level of talent. I haven't seen it yet. You feel me? He plays great against lower level talent or being guarded by people who's not nearly as half as talented as he is. But that doesn't matter to Giannis. You feel me? It doesn't matter to Giannis. Giannis is going to try to kill whoever's in front of him. And not only is Giannis a good offensive player, he's defensively, he's elite. He's elite defensively. You feel me? So, again, I reiterate my original statement. I am perfectly fine with the way the team is now. But if it's a real shot of getting Giannis without having to break up the team as is, you feel me? Like, without giving up, Cat and somebody that's not super pivotal. I don't want to give up an OG. I don't want to give up Mikal. I give up Mitch. I'm sorry to say it. Yeah, I mean, he's one of our guys, but he's never really around when we need him. I'll give up a Mitch. I'll give up somebody who's below the talent level of a Mikal Bridges. You feel me? Like, I'll do that to get a Giannis Antetokounmpo, and you pair them with Cat and one of the stipulations I just mentioned. I feel that is a legit championship run. It's hard enough to stop Giannis by himself on that bum ass team now. Imagine you pair him with somebody like a Jalen Brunson. Well, what they gonna do with him? What they going is nothing. That's the answer. Nothing. I'm sorry, but it's people that we gotta get to. I know I skipped Kev and Sis and Kev. I don't know who wants to go. My bad.
Now, go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis. You good? Go ahead, sis.
No, absolutely not. Zero chance. I literally, so one of my friends, Purple Nick, she messaged me today and she's like, "Did you hear about Giannis?" And I said, if the Knicks do a Melo 2.0 trade, I will retire as a Knicks fan. I will absolutely retire. I do not.
Can we give you a fan tour? Can we give you a tour like Chris Paul?
Yes, you
All right, we can do that.
But I will not watch anymore because if we didn't learn our lesson, then what the fuck are we doing? Like, y'all just want to torture us? Like, I don't like torture. Like, no, I'm good.
So, sis, this all I'm saying is you're thinking about the worst possible trade.
Yeah, no, and let me continue.
What about the best possible trade? That's all I'm saying.
I don't think a cat and other pieces for Giannis is the best possible trade because I don't think Giannis will be good in this offense. He don't shoot threes.
He don't have to. Cat ain't been shooting.
What do you mean he don't have to? Mike Brown is the damn coach.
Yo,
that's what he want everybody to do.
Sis, Cat ain't really been shooting
we ain't
threes.
seen Mitchell Robinson shoot a fucking three yet.
Cat ain't really been shooting threes. That's all I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
He has. It just hasn't been,
my point,
going down for him.
He's shooting at 33%.
He's
right.
He's
That's exactly my point.
But that's this year though. But that's this year. He shoot like 40% career wise. Last year he shot 42% from the 3-point line.
You're talking about shit that happened before this coach was here. My point is, this coach is here, and he's been shooting like shit. It don't matter what what Giannis Giannis shoot like shit from three because we've still been winning without Cat shooting great from three.
All right, so
Giannis is better in every other aspect of the game.
But you're always putting it, in how it will benefit the Knicks. Why would Milwaukee even entertain this idea? Because what do the Knicks have that Milwaukee's like? Yeah, I want Karl-Anthony Towns because even if they take Karl-Anthony Towns, they're gonna want Deuce McBride. They're gonna want Jordan Clarkson. They're gonna want all our picks. They're gonna want they want your kids, my kids. They're gonna want Spike Lee. They're gonna want freaking the Towel Boy. They're gonna want prime parking at Madison Square Garden. They're gonna want more than that, and we don't have that.
Yeah,
they're gonna want our picks for the next 70 years.
Okay, no, that's not always necessarily true.
True, but more we're heading into that direction.
You asked me a question. Let me answer, good brother. You know what I mean? We are in a era of player empowerment. If a player asks for out, especially a superstar, teams usually bend over backwards to give them what they want because you know why? You want other players to know that they're not trapped if they come to your team. If players feel like this organization, if I go there, no matter how unhappy I am, they're not going to let me out of there, they're not going to want to come. Especially
anyway, it's Milwaukee for Christ's sake. I mean, come on.
And that makes it even work better for our situation.
But you know what you're not mentioning, Tito?
Hold on, I ain't cut nobody off. I know that much.
I'm adding into what you you know,
Yeah,
to whatever. He
Kev.
has 2 out of the last 3 seasons missed the playoffs due to injury, and the Bucks were out in the first round.
And you know what also
So
happened
imagine
too?
we imagine we go trade everything like we give them, and then that
I
happens.
literally get where you're going with that, but I'm gonna tell you this is the difference between him being the fucking guy on Milwaukee, the only guy on fucking Milwaukee, because the last 2 years he had to deal with Dame Lillard, who also was never there. There being not having to be the fucking guy every play. Every play doesn't revolve around Giannis Antetokounmpo. He could come to the Knicks and be like, yeah, you know what? I don't have to go balls to the walls every time I step on the court because I have somebody in Jalen Brunson who can score. I have a team around me who can score the basketball. I remember those teams, and I remember watching those teams because I remember being like, yo, this team is ass. Without Giannis, because I was scared when Dame went to Milwaukee. I'm not going to lie to you. Super scared. Oh, shit. We might be in super trouble. But then I started watching that team and watching them close. I said, oh, all they got is Giannis because Dame is fucking sorry. He's sorry now. And then you
And I
start
wonder
watching
why that
Giannis.
was.
Huh?
I wonder why that was. Because
Because
before
Dame,
that, he wasn't having that problem.
and I'm going to tell you this why. Because what, Dame is 34? 34? He's a small guard. It's usually what happens to small guards around that age.
Could it be like maybe him and Dame just didn't mesh? Maybe it wasn't a
I
good
don't care what
chemistry
Dame
fit?
goes. I don't care where Dame goes at this age. He's going to be sorry.
No,
It's just
but what I'm
usually
saying is, but what I'm saying is maybe that's the reason why it didn't work, because maybe it was a
no.
chemistry
I,
issue
I
there.
I get what you're saying, Kev. I'm saying this. Usually, throughout my years of watching the NBA, right? Once smaller guards get around that 33 to 34 mark, they become sorry. That's just the way it works. I don't know why. I don't have the answer to why it happens that way. But smaller guards, 33, 34, sorry. That's usually what happens. That's usually what happens. That's why we have to maximize what we got in Jalen Brunson right now. Jalen Brunson is 30. We got about 2 to 3 more years of prime Jalen Brunson to win the championship. Are you guys confident enough to say that Cat is the number 2? Absolutely guaranteed to bring us the championship. I know how y'all all feel about Jalen Brunson. That's without a doubt, right? But are you absolutely certain that Cat is the number 2 to bring
I
us the
believe.
championship?
Listen,
I think Cat is the number one.
I
That
believe.
offense runs through Cat. He is the number one.
Yeah, y'all niggas is wild.
Listen. It's not wilding. She's not wilding though. She's not wilding because listen, if we would have went through Cat in the playoffs last year, Indiana was not fucking with him. They was not fucking with Cat. If we would have went through Cat, we would have went to the finals, and God knows what would have happened.
I can tell you.
So I don't know. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna side with both Anna and Av on this. Fuck Giannis. Stay your ass in Milwaukee, okay? And I think that we could go to the finals with we went to the Eastern Conference Finals with Karl-Anthony Towns last year in one season. with no preseason, no nothing, no chemistry. We had to learn. These guys had to figure it out from start to finish. And they made it all the way to the Eastern Conference and lost in 6 games. Listen, hold up. Okay, we are forgetting what this man accomplished in one season with the Knicks. Only to go and trade him, but this is what Knicks fans do every single year when a star becomes available. Let's trade for this guy. Let's trade for that guy. Yes. It happens every single year.
You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because you're talking to me this time, Kev.
I'm talking to you and every other Knicks fan that thinks that we should make this trade. I'm making it real clear to whoever.
I'm telling you why you're wrong this time. Because you're talking to me. Because I've never been that guy. I've never. You know me for a very long time, Kev. You know me for a very long time, and you can never say I've never been that guy that once a superstar is available, I've yelled for trades. I've never been that guy. And you can't honestly sit on this fucking panel and
you wanted Zion Williamson when he came available.
That wasn't a trade. That was us. And you wanted him too, Cap. Don't do.
No, I did not. No, I did not. No. We can go all back. It's all on. It's all on Knicks and Ish. It's all on Knicks and Ish. It's all on Knicks and Ish. It's all on Knicks and Ish, Papa. It's all on Knicks and Ish. We could go back. We could go back to the episode and all that.
And I'm not trying to even argue that semantic. You know why I'm not trying to argue that semantic? I never asked for a trade. I asked for a draft pick. That's a big difference. That's a big difference of asking for the lotto gods to bless us with Zion, which didn't happen, which ended up working out in our favor. But anybody with 2 eyes at that time could see that he's number 1, he's box office and deserved to be number 1. Like, that's not no fault of anybody, right? Whatever happened after that was what happened after that. What I'm saying is this: you can't ever look in any space of this thing that we call Knicks and Ish to say that T-Time asked for a superstar to be traded to the Knicks. Never happened, right? Except for maybe this time, and I'm not even asking for it. I'm saying that if it happened, I wouldn't be mad because Giannis is the better player, which is a fact. It's not a guesstimation. It's not the way I feel. It's the truth. Now, if the right trade happens, I don't want Melo 2.0. Absolutely not. I've already made that clear. It has to be the right trade. I also said, before I said that I would like Giannis, is that I'm cool where we're at. Did I not say that? Panel, did I not say that? Did I not say I'm cool with staying where we at? So my point is this: if the right trade proposes itself, where we don't have to give up somebody stupid like OG Anunoby and Mikal,
Josh Hart, Deuce McBride,
stupid shit like that.
That's what's gonna happen.
If it could go,
absolute T-Time, you bugging out, bro.
I'm not.
See, this is the thing, though.
That's emotional shit. That's emotional shit. That's emotional shit. That's emotional shit. And I'm gonna tell you why it's emotional shit. It's emotional.
It's not smart. It's not smart.
It's emotional because he's homegrown. Cat and Deuce don't equal to being better than Giannis. Let's be perfectly honest. It don't.
So I'm gonna say this to what you saying about the perfect trade. There to me is no perfect trade. Signing bringing Giannis, trading for Giannis, then means we have to include his brothers. Let's not be stupid.
Oh my
Well,
Lord,
that's
have
what that
mercy.
He's not leaving
Oh
them
my
there.
God. Oh my
That's
God.
Not what that means.
Oh
He's not
my
leaving
God.
them there.
Oh my
That's
God.
not what that means.
Listen.
He's not
Okay,
leaving
listen.
them
Good
there.
night.
Not what that means.
He's
Listen.
not leaving
Good
them there.
night.
That's not what that
Jesus
means.
Christ. I just want to go to
It
sleep
does.
now.
It
That's
does.
not what that means.
He's not
I
leaving
just
them
want to go
there.
to sleep.
That's not what that means.
So you
Fucking
think
throne.
he's gonna request the trade, leave his brothers there,
Yeah.
knowing they're gonna get waived?
His brother being there was a last ditch effort to try to keep him there. It's
So
not like
All four of them.
huh?
right, it's 3 of them there.
3 of them. 3 out of the
It
Kumpos
was
on that team.
and that's the last ditch effort to try to keep him there. That's what got him to say, "I'm going to spend one more
Okay,
year
so
in
now
Milwaukee."
he's gonna say, I want out.
He's
And you
already said
think
that.
that
I need to
he's gonna
smoke.
leave them there?
He's already said that.
I need to smoke.
I don't think that's
There's no way in the world, right, that y'all really believe that he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not going to get traded unless y'all trade for all 3 of my." No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
I don't think he will leave them there knowing Milwaukee's not gonna keep them.
He's the only reason why they got a paycheck. They were gone before this season even started. That's the point. They were gone. All of them. None of them was in the league before the season started. That was a last-ditch effort to get him to stay. And that's my point. That's not a thing that's real. You know what I mean? That is a fear-driven thing right now y'all talking about. I get it. I get it. Understand this. I want the team to stay the same. I want our team to stay the same. I think we're building something really great. But if there's a path that doesn't really hamper or break up this team fundamentally, to get Giannis, you have to get Giannis. I want to win a championship. I don't give a fuck about who name is on the back. I don't give a fuck about who was drafted here. I want to win a championship. I want to be on Broadway blasted drunk with confetti flowing everywhere, hugging all of y'all on this panel, singing songs I don't even know the words to.
Tea time is gonna be that. Tea time is gonna be that drunk Cleveland Indians fans in the movie that was cursing all the players out for playing bad and all that shit. If the trade don't work out, that's what tea time is gonna be. The Cleveland
Yo,
Indian
listen,
fan that was cursing everybody out when shit
you know
don't hit
what?
the fan. I'm telling you, because
Yo,
it's not
listen.
gonna be. It's
It's
when
not gonna be
history
good.
shows. History shows. History
History
shows
shows that we
for the
ain't
New
been
York
good,
Knicks.
motherfucker.
For the New York Knicks, that trades like that don't work out for us.
Yeah.
It don't work out for us.
Ain't nothing.
And for the
Ain't
talent
nothing
that we
worked out
have,
for us.
we talking about Giannis. You just said he's the best. He's one of the best players in the league right now. And in order to get one of the best players in the league right now, you're gonna have to give up the best talent that you have on your team. And that's gonna be Cat, OG,
Not necessarily
Josh,
true.
and
Not
that's gonna take
necessarily
away
true.
from our team. That's gonna take
Not,
away from our
it's
team.
not
It's gonna
necessarily
take
true.
away from us.
It's not necessarily true, especially when you have a disgruntled player. That's usually the difference. Once the player is disgruntled, it lowers the value of the player, and especially if they name a place they want to go, other teams stay away from them, and that's what lessens the value of the player. It's the
Not necessarily.
it's the whole thing what
Not
happened with the
necessarily,
Knicks
and
and
there is
Melo.
precedent. There's
It's the
precedent for
whole
this.
thing that happened with the Knicks and Melo. Motherfuckers wasn't patient enough, so we had to give up the farm for somebody that we could have got a whole lot cheaper. You know what I mean? And again, y'all speaking like I want the trade to happen. I'm just not opposed to it.
We're
You know what I
debating
mean?
about it. It's the difference. We're debating about it. The subject was brought up, and we just have everybody has
Yeah.
their own opinion about it. People are
You know
gonna
why
agree
you
to it, and people are gonna
yo
disagree.
Kev, you know why I wouldn't be one of those Cleveland fans that you mentioned? You know why? Because I've seen enough shit to know that shit always happens. It always happens. It always happens. No matter what the Knicks do, it's some shit that always happens. You feel me? But
Right.
I do want to put myself in the best position to win a championship.
All right.
And I feel like if if the right trade proposes itself for Giannis, we have to look at that. We have to.
I don't think it would be smart to make that type of move in a season.
And in a season when you're trying to win a
In a
championship,
season,
because
that's insane.
how's that
Because
gonna
Well,
that
look in the
changes the
locker room?
dynamics.
Yup.
furthermore, to negate what you just said, tea time, there is precedent when a superstar player says they want to be traded and they want to go somewhere specifically, and it happened with the Milwaukee Bucks themselves. Not too long ago, Damian Lillard requested a trade out of Portland, wanted to go specifically to the Miami Heat. Did not end up going there, ended up going and getting convinced to be traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, and that became that big 3-team trade. I have it up right now. Damian
No,
Lillard went to the Bucks. Drew
that's
Holiday went to the
absolutely
Blazers.
accurate. That's absolutely accurate. But what that has to do with the Knicks?
It has to do with the Knicks.
Because you're talking about a team, right? That a player that asked to be traded to somewhere and then go to his target. So to make that clear, right? If Giannis asks to go to the Knicks and do not go there, what that has to do with the Knicks? Nothing.
No,
And that's my point.
I'm just saying that it's not a fait accompli. There's going to be a lot of negotiation. Names are going to be mentioned, and
I
it
didn't
may
say that it
differ
would be.
chemistry.
I didn't say that it would be. My point has always been if the right trade proposes itself.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I'm not saying give up the fucking farm for Giannis. That's never been my position. Never. Not once did I say trade the farm, trade OG,
We're not
trade
we're
Mikal,
we're
trade.
we're not saying that that's what you're saying, but we're saying that that's what it's gonna take. We never said that that's what you
I,
said.
I
We're
don't think it
saying
would
that
be.
that's what it's gonna
I don't
take.
think it would be. Because if enough malcontent forms between Giannis and the Bucks organization between now, I'm not saying this season. It could even happen in the off season. Because if we miss our goal this season and enough malcontent happens between now and the off season, we could get him probably for less than what we expect. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying trade the farm. I don't want to trade OG. I don't want to trade Mikal. Yeah, I mean, I'm 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 okay with trading either or Deuce or Mitch. I know y'all don't like to hear it, but for a player like Giannis, it's something you got to look at. I don't think it's fair to be like, nah. You're talking about a perennial all-star, a league MVP, and a champion. We're not talking about just your average superstar. We're talking about somebody with credentials. We got also a former. I don't know if he won the award, but he was a defensive of the year candidate at one point. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about just your average superstar. We're talking about your all around superstar. You got to take a look at it. That's all I'm saying. It's unfair to say absolutely no way. I think that's unfair. To yourself as a Knicks fan, it's absolutely unfair to go absolutely no way. Because none of the people that
no way.
none of the people that you mentioned has those credentials that might be traded. That's all I'm saying. But we can agree to disagree because we 2 hours in now. This wasn't even supposed to go there.
That's a touchy subject, though.
I know, Trey.
It's a touchy subject, man.
And then the crazy part is we usually agree.
Right.
We usually agree. It's very rare that we disagree on this kind of level. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, y'all was introducing something kind of new tonight because we usually don't agree. We don't usually disagree. Yeah, you know I mean, me and Kev might disagree, but me and everybody else, they don't.
Right.
And me and Kev disagreeing is usually on like the Ed-ish stuff. Nah, but we got one more. We got one more topic before we get up out of here. It is definitely the Knicks home and away discrepancy, right? The Knicks are 11-1 at home, but struggling on the road at 3-6. What is the biggest difference between the Knicks at MSG and Knicks everywhere else? We was on the last topic for a long time, so I'm not even gonna pretend like I know who's supposed to go next. But we have been keeping a theme and letting our guests go first. So I'll say we let the guests go first.
Okay. About the home record, they didn't realize that they only had one loss, and that would obviously be the Orlando game. So that's a good question. I mean, I looked at who we played thus far. Miami, we were at Miami twice, right? At Milwaukee, at Boston. What else have we played? I'm trying to think. Charlotte. I mean, that's a cupcake. I'm not worried about the road. I think they'll get some road wins here. I'm not really worried about it. I'm actually, now that you bring it up, to say 10-1 at home, like damn, that's actually pretty good because usually the Knicks kind of mediocre. I've told Ad for years, like what sports has become, like the home court advantage has never really been here in the 21st century, the last 10 years for most teams. So that's actually good that the Knicks are actually holding serve on the home court. But to answer your question, the road wins will come. I'm confident in that. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. But in your summation, watching the game, right? If you had to pinpoint one thing, what may have been the difference in these games, what you think it may have been?
They don't have the killer instinct. They've said it on the broadcast. You guys said it on previous podcasts, and we've said it on our show. The Knicks, if they had a killer instinct, they would definitely be the clear-cut #1 team in the East. They'll probably be the second best team in the NBA behind Oklahoma City record-wise. But they gotta kill these teams. At this point, you can't use the injuries as an excuse. They've been winning big quarters. They allow teams like even Charlotte tonight up 20, allow them to come back to be down up 3 going into the second quarter before halftime, before Jalen Brunson hit that 3 to go up 6, I think. They got to have a killer instinct. Where are they going to get it? That's a good question. I don't know. Now, there's that accountability factor you were saying about Chris Paul. I understand that intangible. So they got to find some sort of way to step on these teams' necks. That's the next step. And that I don't know what that looks like because they be toying with these teams and they let them back in. It's almost like is this are we gambling too? Are we Millie Beasley in this shit too? Like that's what it looked like. Like we are up 20 every game. Cleveland, Boston, every game up 20, lose the lead. It gets annoying. Get the killer instinct. We steamrolling these teams. That's the next step.
We might have to get these live bets going. You heard? Sis, talk to me.
I have no idea what the difference is other than Knicks fans in the arena. I mean, it's like night and day, and it's so confusing. I don't understand why. So I don't have an answer for that. Maybe the pride they take in playing at the Garden is a factor, but that should, there's Knicks fans that, some of them only get to see you once a year when you come to their city. And so, that same intensity that you give to the fans every day at the Garden, you should be giving to those fans too, because I don't want to see that shit I seen in Dallas again. But I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because the offense is still the same. Everything still looks the same, except they just play each other. I don't know.
Kev, you around?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just my battery's low, so the light and all that damn
I
out.
respect it.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like when we go on the road, teams play with a different kind of intensity. They home, they in front of their fans. So obviously that team, they trying to win for their home team. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Knicks need to just go back and look to what they did last year. Last year there was an exceptional road team and a real bad home team. It was the opposite. So I think that they should go back and look into something maybe like what they did different last year and try to like incorporate into what they doing this year. I mean, because what like Sis said, everything is still the same. The offense is lit. The defense is inconsistent whether they play home or away. Like we're literally winning games by outscoring the opponent on the road or at home. It's just that at home we got the support of our fan base, and our fan base is a different kind. We lit like that, so we give them that energy. We that six man that they need. You know what I mean? The voice. We give them energy. So, and I'm sure in some arenas, there's Knicks fans in every other arena we go to. We live everywhere, but for some reason it hasn't worked out for them this year on the road. So they got a lot of work to do, and they got to try to turn it around.
Facts. Knickerbocker
I think that it's just about being prepared. The Knicks are just not being prepared on the road. Obviously, you're not sleeping in your own bed. You're in the hotel room. You're getting off the plane. You're getting a practice, and there's just not that level of being prepared. And I like that what Jeremy just said right here. They're not adjusting. They're not adjusting on the fly. Obviously, you're more comfortable in your own digs. You feed off the energy, as Kev said, but the Knicks just are not. I don't know if it's a Mike Brown situation or if it's a team situation or whatever the case may be. But if you're going into another arena, you have to come in with the same killer instinct, the same mentality, the same level of preparedness, and you have to execute. And the inconsistency on defense is glaringly obvious when the Knicks are on the road as opposed to when they're at home. And it's I can't even express how mind-numbing it is watching it on the road, and you see that, but it is what it is.
I think my 2 cents before we wrap up this night. It was a great show tonight. I ain't gonna lie, but before we wrap up this night, I'm gonna say this. There is some truth that your bench plays better, your role players play better at home. I think I see a lot of that this season. It's not the only reason, obviously, but I think it holds a lot of stake. Jordan Clarkson has been playing a lot better in home games versus road games. And before the injuries happened, the same thing with Shamit and a lot of the guys that was coming off the bench. It was a stark difference between what they were doing on the road and what they were doing at home. I think that has a lot to do with it. I think as a team overall is a lot of comfortability that was happening at home that you didn't see being exuberant or on the road. I think that has a lot to do with the players and coaching, for that matter, because it wasn't a thing before. Like, I think when Tibbs was here, we were just as good as a road team. Not just as good, but we were close enough to being just as good as a road team as we were as being a home team. So I don't know what the preparation is going into road games, but something has to change, because if we're going to be the like my guy Av said, Av, what we doing?
This is the season of destiny. The season we've been waiting our whole lives for.
If that's the case, you gotta be a great road team as well as a great home team. And we've yet to see that. Things gotta be fixed. And I think it has a lot to do with the shot selection on the road too. We still try to shoot the ball, a lot of 3-point shots on the road, like how we do at home, which we know that shouldn't be the case either place, but that's what the philosophy is. Until those kind of things change, we might be stuck in the same space. But yeah, that's just all I got for that. But unless anybody got anything else, no, nothing else. All right, I gotta wrap it up, or does somebody want to wrap up the show? Knickerbocker, wrap up the show, please.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight on Knicks and Niche. Steve, is a pleasure. If you haven't done so already, please follow the Bleed Blue Show. They host the spaces for every sport. Mondays is usually baseball, Tuesday hockey, Wednesday basketball, Thursday the NFL. And of course, he does talk about a bunch of other stuff because this dude watches sport 24/7. I mean, how did he do it?
You got the Audi Cup, MLS Cup, Vancouver Whitecaps, and the Inter Miami, man. It's 2:30 on Saturday, and then you got all these. You got the college football, crazy. Georgia, Alabama, Indiana, Ohio State, crazy weekend. Crazy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I felt overall well with him just naming all that stuff. I ain't
All right, but thank you so very much, everybody, for joining us. Steve, real quick, your only quick question, because I don't think I heard you on our spaces. Your game of the week
from the last 2 weeks for the NBA.
Yes, sir.
It was the Philadelphia Atlanta overtime game. That was a very good game, man.
Okay. And I did catch a little bit of that game. That was a very good game.
And then Brunson was the player of the week, by the way. And not to be biased, but it is what it is. I try not to say my players did that for my teams, but Brunson was the best player of the last week. So you got to give it to Brunson for the player of the week. So we'll put it up there.
A lot of unbiased people agree with you. So
the week before that was Jalen Johnson, and the week before that was Jokic, and before that was Curry. So it got to be consistent. Kay Cunningham was in there too before that as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But thank you so very much for the First Lady, Mrs. Knicks, for Kev, our co-host, Steve Azul from Bleed Blue Show, and of course the spark plug himself, who's now starting to feel it. He's starting to feel it's 1 a.m. and it's time to go to bed.
Likes and shares.
Please continue to share, like, and subscribe to Knicks and Ish. Thank you so very much, all of you who have joined us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X. Please do so. Please head over to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we cannot get there without each and every one of you. We appreciate you. We love you. We actually missed our troll today. Oh, yeah, that's right. Miami lost tonight. Oh.
He's probably over there crying.
No, that's mad funny.
Yeah, I was on his live tea time the other day watching him cry, and I was just crying. I was just laughing because he was crying and we're getting packed up by Detroit.
Yeah, that's mad funny. I might have to pull up one of these days. I don't have time to pay attention to what Miami doing, but I'm gonna try.
Man.
All right. Well, thank you for joining for Knicks and Ish. We'll be back on Friday night when the Knicks take on the Utah Jazz. For everybody here, I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Ave. Keep talking that ish. Keep talking those Knicks, and please, someone say.
Mic check 1, 2. Tell these rappers I'm outside, get them start acting up. Turning hoes to housewives and cleaning the ratchet up. Do it off from boom back the melody rap. Think I'll put you in the box, then you might as well pack it up. Bars having bars, no cap, I'm Attica, you a precinct. How y'all competing when y'all just decent? Your rhyme efficiency's like logic simplicity. Don't tell me how much that you black, cause I don't see it.